Rockets, mortars fired by Hamas falling in southern Israel overnight and throughout the day. The Israeli military reporting that Hamas fired at least 60 rockets into Israeli communities near the border with Gaza overnight and throughout the day. But that was before another rocket barrage this afternoon. The number almost definitely higher than what we're getting official confirmation for at this hour. Here are the facts. 3 people injured just moments ago in Sderot after a missile hit a house. There are also reports of a synagogue, also in Sderot, getting hit a short time ago. Also, in a major development, 2 Hamas missiles reaching as far north as Ashkelon. It's a city largely out of the reach of today's rocket strikes. The rocket fire coming in retaliation for Israeli strikes on Hamas military targets in the Gaza Strip, including 2 tunnels leading into Israel from Gaza. And joining me here in studio, retired Major General Yom-Tov Samia, and also a colonel, a former combat intelligence officer with the Israeli military, Miri Eisin, here analyzing this story today. And General Samia, I want to talk about what's happening today because this is your backyard. You were in charge of the Southern Command, so you know the geography. Talk about how the Israeli military handles these kinds of situations.
With all the respect, I don't think that the question is how the military is handling the situation. I think the main question here, or the issue is, does Israel have a strategy toward the Palestinian Authority in general and the Gaza Strip include the Hamas in particular? And the answer is no, we don't have it.
Why not?
So the army is trying to do its best, and they are doing very best, coming back to your question. They are doing the best in the bad situation that they are in. Just to explain the situation, in our past, and Miri knows that great, that we used to fight terror organization while they are underground. They are not seen. They always run away from place to place. And due to the lack of strategy during the last even 20 years in Israel, we have the Hezbollah as a terror organization on the border in Lebanon, visible in posts and strong points and OPCs. And we have the Hamas, the same, on the fence, like 2 meters from the fence, acting during the day as an army, but during the night as a terror organization. That's almost impossible situation for a normal army.
I want to talk really about what's happening, though, over the last few minutes. And Miri, discuss how those missiles that did make it all the way to Ashkelon today relates into all of this. Because from what I understand so far, Ashkelon is significantly out of the range of the rocket fire we've seen.
Well, there's a difference between mortars and rockets, and most of what we were seeing during this morning is mortars, and now we're already seeing rockets. I don't want to have everybody now get into an explanation of the difference between mortars and rockets and their lethality and their exactness, but essentially what we're seeing here is Hamas going up stages. Doing things that are near the line is perceived in Israel in a different way than going to a city of 120,000 people, making a siren go off and really disturbing the lives of 120,000. It's not fair, it's not nice, but it is a numbers game. When you hit the city of Sderot, 20,000 people, it's different than when you hit the city of Ashkelon, 120,000 people. So what we're seeing here is changing rules in the Hamas side. Why are they doing so? When you start something, you don't know where it's going to go to. The Hamas have been playing with fire for weeks, for months, playing with fire in many more ways.
And Major General, how would that change the response from the IDF?
I think the only way is to get a clear strategy or clear war targets, what we call, or war aims, to vanish the Hamas from the Gaza Strip.
But how does it actually change the response today?
We will not run away.
Not the bigger picture.
We will not run away from the day that we have to vanish the Hamas from the Gaza Strip, because we will not have, Israel, the Middle East, will not have any agreement with the Palestinian Authority as long as the Hamas is terror organization controlling the Gaza Strip. The react of today, coming back to your question, I would aim direct through the leaders of the Hamas what we used to do years ago, going one by one, not let them stay in the same place for 6 hours, and start to hit the Hamas directly, not indirectly. Most of the targets that we are hitting, that the IDF is hitting during the last 100 days, is empty targets. It's dunes. It's really empty. Include the camp of today, one of the battalions near the Sajaiya. It's an empty camp. They know it's an empty camp. It's just a warning shot. When they are shooting to Ashkelon, as Miri says, or to Sderot, they're aiming to kill innocent people. They are aiming to kill not Israeli soldiers. They are aiming to kill kids and women and synagogue and everything that they can eat.
Colonel Eisin, one of the targets that was hit today was a medium-level Hamas military compound in Gaza City. And a lot of people are saying that that was a proportional hit due to what we saw previously with Hamas hitting, and we see a picture right there on the air, hitting a mid-level soldier near the border. What do you have to say about that?
I don't see this as tit for tat. And I think that one of the challenges that we have is that when we talk about it just about today, when we talk about it this morning, this afternoon, we need to broaden out the picture. We're looking into 100 days. We're looking into 6 months. We're looking into much longer than that. So in that sense, this isn't about just the officer being hurt yesterday on the border. That isn't a tragedy. He's an officer. He was in the border doing what he's supposed to be doing. In that sense, this is more about Israel's strategy when it comes to separating the Gaza Strip, the fact that in the Gaza Strip the Hamas rule, that in the West Bank the Palestinian Authority rule, and we need to find a very odd balance between the way that we relate to the Gaza Strip with 2 million people, but ruled by the Hamas.
Major General, what would that balance look like?
Well, I agree with Miri. It's not comparable between what they are doing and we are doing. It's a terror organizations who controlling 2.2, by the way, as long as I know, 2.2 miserable Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. And let's have the world understand. Hamas is the occupier in the Gaza Strip. Hamas is the controller. Hamas is the one who is starving the people in the Gaza Strip. Israel is allowing at least 1,800 trucks, double-trailer trucks, to pass through the passages into Gaza Strip, as long as it is not weapon or ammunition, with food. And Hamas is controlling all this. And you know what's the act of Hamas in the last 100 days? They burned twice the passage that we passed through those trucks. I'm not talking about the 30 million shekels which cost us to build again and again this passage. I'm talking just about common sense, for God's sake. We are transferring, we are passing through this pass all your needs in food, in medical, water supply, fuel supply, energy supply, everything comes through this pass. You go and burn it up. Where is the logical way of thinking, you as a controller in the Gaza Strip? So please, let the world understand. Israel is not the occupier of the Gaza Strip. We don't have any foot on the ground, any boot on the ground in Gaza Strip. And we are not aiming to be there.
But of course, Hamas and the Palestinians in Gaza say this is all a response to the blockade. We're going to talk a lot about that in the next segment because there is quite a bit to say. We are following breaking news today out of the Gaza Strip. Missiles